Good afternoon. Hey, Oropesa, and we are here this afternoon with Connie Burton, sister Connie Burton, and Stephanie Pointer. They're gonna talk mostly, gonna kind of stay out of the discussion, but since it's headlining the past couple of days, uh, Florida Susan Valdes, after winning re-election, this will be her last term up in Tallahassee as a House rep. She's termed out. She ran as a Democrat, won in that district 64, and also ran for to be the chair of the executive committee of the Hillsborough Democratic Party and lost. But to the amazement of a lot of people, she just declared that she is switching to became an affiliated Republican Party member. So, Connie, they live in Hillsborough. She represents West Tampa and Town and Country, but I don't reside in Hillsborough. I think it would be appropriate for Stephanie and Connie to discuss these recent events. Thanks for joining, Connie. Let Connie start. Connie, what do you think?
All right. Well, thank you for the invite. I appreciate that. Right now we're in this kind of like strange political season. Strange for some, but for some folks, it's very revealing because people begin to really articulate and say what they have long held to believe about individuals. They say, tell me who you are and I'll tell you what you are about. And so the election of November, where people came out to support candidates based on political parties, should mean something. From November to December within the same year, we're seeing across the board that voters that we thought we had particular alliances with has made a decision to go on the other side. And so now we see in the case of Susan Valdes, after winning the election in this November as a Democrat, coming to the Democratic caucus and the leadership of Hillsborough County, having people to advocate for her and to support her as the Democratic chair of Hillsborough County, only to have her within days send out a letter declaring her new affiliation as a Republican. And so, there's been a lot of discussion about that. People have tried to give some justification to it as the fact that people in her district had a hard lean toward a Republican presidential candidate. I say none of that matters because she ran as a Democrat. Her allegiance should have been to the party. And as such, she should have given her all 100% within the next 2 years of standing toward that mission and working to win her constituents back into the party. So I look at this as some type of political opportunity for herself. And given that the governor might make a decision to enter into Donald Trump's administration, become part of his team on the national front, that it might give some more movement to the Hispanic caucus. But to me, it is all lacing with betrayal. Betrayal of the party and betrayal to the mission and betrayal to those that have consistently voted in support of her as a Democrat, to see now she has chosen to change her party affiliation. If she was just an ordinary citizen, I would have said, that's her choice. But the fact that she just won an election in November, it gives me credence to, I feel that she has moved toward her own political best interests.
Hi, Mona. Thanks for joining. Mona says she keeps stating she felt disrespected. Can someone explain how she was disrespected? Yeah, that's a quote from that she did give. I think she published on X why she was doing that, and I think she said that she felt tired of not being listened to. The exact quote is, let me see here. It's in it was published in the Tampa Bay Times. But she said, "I will not." This was what she posted on X. "I will not waste my final 2 years in the Florida legislature being ignored."
But even it doesn't matter which party she's affiliated with, they can still ignore her. I mean, yeah, if you put on a sheep's coat and you're a wolf, you're still a wolf, and you'll still be ignored. They're not going to come near you because they can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Katie's locked up.
Yes, and given the fact that the Democratic Party represents such a small caucus in Tallahassee, I mean, I could scream and shout and get my voice heard at some point in some time. So I don't know what she meant by that, considering when you hear the always caveat of brown and black people working together, we are working around the same issues of social and economic injustice. So I don't know. I would have liked for her to elaborate on that in ways in which she felt she was being ignored, since we're in this boat together to, improve the quality of life of all individuals. So how then did she feel she was being ignored?
I mean, here's what I see. I mean, people in general are busy people. And Connie, you and I know who we're voting for at the local level, at the regional level, and at the national level. But there are a whole bunch of people in this country who don't know. And, before I became active in politics locally, I depended on I went with the teachers union because they most generally aligned with my personal interests. So when you have an endorsement from the teachers union or from the the Greater Tampa Realtors Association, or any entity, so not only has she turned her back on the citizens who don't know anything, but I'm a Democrat and I vote Democrat, because they don't have time, they don't have the energy, for whatever reason, they don't know enough about the state politics or the local politics to really dig in, or to do that. So when you sell yourself as something and then you turn up and you're something else, that it's bait and switch as far as I'm concerned. And I mean, if she did this the last week of her term, that's one thing. But she knew a month ago what she was up to. There's no way that she got up one morning and said, "Oh, I'm good to go. I'm going to go ahead and do this." She knew when she was running for election. There's no way that she couldn't have.
And I would like to know, what was her intent in even allowing people to nominate her to be the leadership of the Hillsborough, County Democratic leadership. I mean, why would she put herself in that situation if she had these feelings of being ignored? And hell, I'm not the president of the Democratic Party. I'm a registered Democrat. I do the best I can to try to respect the leadership, but I do have an opinion. And it is for us to raise our opinion, to push the party and our political leadership in ways in which we should, that I feel that they should be aligned with the masses of people that has been loyal to the party. So we continue to raise these issues, but by no means would I think someone that would have been um, a Democrat has termed out as a school board representative as a Democrat, get elected to the state house as a Democrat, run for the local leadership of the Democratic Party, and within days said, "Oh, I think I'm gonna be a Republican now because I'm not being listened to." It don't pan out that way. I believe that, people who they are is who they are. And now, because the political swing is in the opposite direction, I believe that people feel that it would be their best personal benefit, unless you just lay out what your grievances are. What are your grievances with the Democratic Party in your leadership format? Did you feel the necessity to leave? That's what I would like to hear from her.
She says, I've been a Democrat all my life. My family's Democrats, and then she's like, but the being ignored by the caucus is okay.
She got the
What
full
do you expect?
she got the full endorsement of the Black leadership in the caucus. I mean, Michelle Rayner, Diane Hart, Prentice, all endorsed her, sent over support letters from her. And in fact, I just heard a press conference where Prentice even said that they build their whole political, no, their Hispanic caucus was built around Susan's ideas and her vision. And so if that seemed to be a strong contradiction coming from the leadership, and then to Susan Valdez's point that she's being ignored. And I'm simply not buying it. I'm not high in nowhere in those ranks, but I do know that sometimes human nature calls for people to think they're getting on the winning side if they look at something personal, because we've seen this before. We've had to live through Ronald Reagan, and then we can come back to Bill Clinton, then we can go back to Jeb Bush, and then we can come back to Obama. People make political choices all the time. All the time. And unless, again, she lay out what were the things that she was being disrespected by, then one will conclude that she was moving toward her own interests.
And the thing about it is, she ran for the head of the Democratic Party on top of that. So it wasn't like she ended being a Democrat on November the 5th. She ran for the head of the party. So what's the point? I mean, she can't make up her mind what she wants. She's mad because she lost. Is that what is that what it all boils down to? It sounds like I'm going to pack up my toys and go home. Maybe I can get better. I'll have better friends down the street. I can get more done down the street by being friends with different people. That's what gets me. I'm like, okay, so you ran for office. You ran for a second office on top of being a representative as part of the Democratic Party. But then when you lose, you get all butthurt and take your toys and go home. I don't know. It seems very suspect to me. Because did you not know you wanted to be a Republican then?
Well, not all campaigns that we enter do we win. I mean, just because you enter don't necessarily mean you're gonna end up being the victor. But I would like to know what her constituents in that district is thinking of her now, and do she have outside of her, terming out within the next 2 years, would they support her as a Republican? What would be her deliverables coming back into her district in terms of winning the confidence of the constituents to vote for her as a Republican? I mean, the thing is, will they hold her accountable? And that should be key right there. How will they hold her accountable?
They're actually asking for her to resign and for them to run a special election, and she can run in the special election and see if she actually gets reappointed. If she wins the second election, I mean that I think that's fair. And you know what? She should have thought about all this before she ran. I mean, how old do you have to be before you can get your ducks in a row and make a decision more than 2 weeks old? I mean, yeah, I can change my mind about what I want to do, but I don't represent thousands of people saying that this is the person that I am for years and years. And then all of a sudden, when I lose the Democratic um, Party election for the community, I I changed my whole disposition. Mm.
Well, I'm just going to say right up front, I'm glad she did not win. Um, I know our votes were private votes, but publicly, I did not vote for her. Um, as you know, a lot of times, when I come to council, Stephanie, I am saying to the party that you all got to articulate, you got to do better, you got to be held more accountable and responsible for the base that has been loyal to you. And so I have never seen her as one that has been loyal, forward thinking in terms of people that represent her, that she's supposed to represent. Although I don't live in her district, as a school board person, I've always felt that way watching her from afar. So uh, this should give people a pause. I think we're going to have to hold our elected officials more accountable. I think citizens going to have to be paying more attention um, to people as candidates that want to run to represent them. And we start developing a scorecard. And, like even going to Tallahassee or, on the local front, we might be outnumbered, but that don't stop our voices from being elevated. We have to keep on saying over and over again that this is the mission. This is how you should be working toward making assurance that this mission is carrying out, and that then the people is able to evaluate your leadership, look to you and see if there's a reason for us to continue to place additional confidence in you and running for continual office. And, just like we have people that have won massively on the national front, I mean, I don't think it's something for us to be jittery and afraid of. I mean, we one person in line of millions of citizens that is dependent upon this government to do the right thing. And if it does right for only a small minority, then the
Mhm.
majority will make a decision moving forward. But I think the community as a whole has to come more politically engaged and stop leaving it up to a very few people to make all of the political decisions that's impacting the lives of the majority.
I agree with Mona. She's not going to be a leader in the Republican Party, and Melanie, said something very similar. I mean, I don't see how Republicans, if they don't care about her now, they sure as heck aren't going to care about her, even though she's on their side, because all she did was change teams, and she's still the same person. And you
Well,
know,
yeah, if she had a big stick to bring to the Republican Party, I mean, I mean, like hundreds of thousands and thousands of people. I mean, if she was like the mayor of the city of Tampa, the mayor of all of Hillsborough County, you know, if she had a big ticket, a big stack of constituents, she only has a district. She
mhm,
only has a district in Hillsborough County. And so the Republican Party has everything lined up in their favor in Tallahassee. So, I mean, you know, that's just right now, that's a drop in the bucket. Moving forward, what will that say for this, you know, the Hillsborough County and the city of Tampa as we see, you know, what will be the alignment as we get ready to prepare ourselves for a mayoral contest here in Tampa in the next couple of years.
oh Lord, I'm not looking forward to that mess.
What will that be? What
That's
will
gonna
that be, you know, in terms of having
be.
Republican candidates run for the mayor of the city of Tampa? You know, I mean, I recall, you know, Jane Castor being a registered Republican prior to becoming the mayor of the city of Tampa, where she changed political
That's
parties.
right. And Haiti called her out on it at
Mm,
Tiger Bay. She sure did in 2019, I think, and flat
yeah,
out asked her why she was a Republican for 30 some years, and then she decided she was a Democrat.
yeah,
And I'll be honest with you, she acts more like a Democrat than she does a Republican as a rule.
mm,
So you know, I can see that change, and you know, she made that change while she was running for office. She likes to spend money. I've never seen anybody. She likes to spend money. She spends more money than my 16-year-old, you know, and it's not her money, which is my problem with her. But yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna see, you know, what's gonna happen. I mean, city council is the only Democratic stronghold for the city anymore, and
yes,
and of course Cassie Castor, who is amazing. But we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
yes,
I,
yes,
but you know, I very rarely. Maybe it's because I'm not a big fan of the mayor. Everybody knows that. Um, but uh, what amazes me is how few other people are.
mm,
I heard this week that Buckhorn's going to throw his hat in this time again, and you
oh,
know,
really?
I have some huge issues with that. As somebody who's on the budget committee, Bob Buckhorn repeatedly said, we will not raise fees in the city. And I'm not talking about our water bill and our trash bill. I'm talking about developers paying $1,000 in transportation fees, where the county charges $9,000 in transportation fees. And every other entity around us charges $9,000. We as citizens of the city of Tampa are supplementing developers building, and that's not right. I mean, I don't care. I don't think we should make one penny off of it. We don't have to make money off of it, but I think that the citizens of Tampa should not be supplementing it. Um, you know, it's disgusting. We haven't raised our fees for anything associated with building for the water companies in 40 years. 40 years. And he was very vocal about we will not raise any fees whatsoever. No fees will ever be raised.
I think
So,
the re-election of Bob Buckhorn is a step back into history,
yes, it is. You're right.
and it would be you know, other than somebody saying, well, they want to be a mayor again. I mean, he was a mayor for 2 terms.
Hmm.
I think he's planted his legacy. And I think it kind of like reveal a certain type of selfishness
Yep.
that is manifested when someone feel can't nobody do the job better than them. Can't nobody do the
Right.
job better than them.
Exactly.
I believe is his intention might be to just cause a political fray within those that will run, that the vote will be so split and shattered. That definitely is not something that the voters need. I believe that a fair contest should be held, but if the intention is to derail a particular person from, say, garnishing certain
Yep.
votes, it tells me something about him.
That's
And
right.
Bob Buckhorn, in my opinion, was dangerous. He came up the rank as, working for Sandy Freeman, then city council leader, then mayor, and disconnected himself from the issues of the people. And of course, I know he can cozy himself up to certain black leaders and certain people within the religious entity within the black community, but the community has changed, and the community is hungry, and the community is needing for social justice. We don't need any additional hope kind of politics. We need a right now politics. We need progressive thinkers. We need someone that will be challenging is budgets. We need someone that would challenge the unbalance of economic opportunities in community. We need someone that is willing to help lift all boats. And Bob Buckhorn, again, in my opinion, will be very, very dangerous, and
Hmm.
is definitely one that will not move this city in the right direction.
I agree. Completely
Mm.
agree. I think Haiti must still be having technological challenges, but she's
No,
telling us,
no,
oh,
no, I'm
there
here.
you go. There you
You guys
go.
did great.
I, just,
Thank
I
God
thought you were
that
going to
you
roll
guys
us
know what to
down.
do. I was out. I was battling technological forces, but you guys did great to just continue on. Thank you.
Well, we were
Yeah.
having fun. See, you get us
Just
talking about the city. We got something to say all the time.
you know what I discovered? That I can be off completely off and you guys can do your thing without me even being
That's
in front of the laptop.
that's
Yeah,
really
well, I appreciate the platform, because right now I think that, people that is of same mindset, we got to figure this out. We
mm-hmm.
got to figure this out, and we got to help, individuals that is looking for something in the alternative universe come back to earth. It is not
Mm-hmm.
there.
That's
Unless
right.
we're all rowing in the same direction, nothing is going to get done. And it's almost like I've been reminded of, say, like when people are saying like happy birthday to you, and then the voices can get escalated and escalated, and then the next day, we had one good joyous day, and then the next day, boom, it's reality. And so that's where we are headed in this political season.
Mm-hmm.
That yes, we had an election, somebody won, somebody is going to be voted into office, but after November the 20th, come real reality for you, your family, your household, your
Mm-hmm.
city, your state. It's real
That's right.
reality. And we got to figure out how we going to get through it and how we going to live through it. So I think it's a lot of work out there. It's a lot of needed conversations that we can talk to each other without drawing a gun and just share ideas and try to figure. What kills me a lot is that you see everybody else in the world is having dialogue. Some people is having conflict,
Mm-hmm.
but they're having dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And then in here, the dialogue becomes so irrational that it's either or. It's either or. You either or. And so, that can set us back another 50 years. It's not going to be one group of people that gets set back. I mean, we all got to go and buy eggs in the store. We all need to put money into the economy to keep it growing. There's no money tree. If I'm not spending, it's not growing.
That's right.
And if I don't feel welcome, I'm not spending, right? And
Right.
so, this putting one group against the other, that could be the death nail for what capitalism and Americanism all at one shot. So I'm just hoping that, people come to some common sense thinking and figure out that, if this is the nation that everybody talked about years and years ago, a nation of immigrants, we got to be able to tell the truth about America. And after telling the truth, we'll be all right, I believe, moving forward.
Well, Connie, thank you so much for guest hosting today. I really do appreciate it. I enjoyed talking to you about it. We sit in the same room a lot, but we don't get a chance to talk much. But I do appreciate it for sure. And I know Haiti does as well.
Well, I always appreciate all of your research that you do. In fact, I usually go back through the council and, horn in on those points because it's a learning process.
Oh,
It is
yes,
always a learning process just to try to figure out what is happening throughout the city and how do various voices articulate, what is going on. So, like it costs money and it costs time to come down there every
oh, yes,
Thursday.
absolutely. It does. It absolutely does. Well, thank
Money,
you for
time,
coming on. I appreciate it. And I think Haiti's locked up again. I don't know what's going on with her internet today, but I appreciate you. And we'll go ahead and close it up and wrap up the video, and I'll make sure she sends it out so we can all share it. Have a
thank
good
you.
weekend. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye-bye. Mhm.